Death is not the end. It is not even a pause. It is a passage, a transition from one layer of reality into another. And what lies between lives is not empty space, but a realm filled with movement, memory, and meaning. According to the Vedic sages, when the body dies, the soul does not. The physical form returns to the earth, but the subtle body, composed of mind, memory, ego, and life force, carries the soul forward. And where it goes next is not random. It is shaped by the quality of your inner state at the moment of death. In those final moments, your thoughts matter more than ever. Your attachments, fears, clarity, all of it creates a frequency. That frequency determines the trajectory of your journey through the in-between. This realm is not physical. It cannot be touched or measured, but it is very real. It is the space where the soul processes the life it has just lived. It reflects, it releases, it waits, it prepares. Some souls move through this space quickly, others stay longer. It depends on the weight they carry, the unresolved karma, the intensity of their desires, the confusion or awareness they held when they left the body. For those who lived with fear, deception, or deep attachment, the passage can be disorienting. The soul may not even realize it has died. It clings to form. It searches for familiar anchors. It wanders, not out of punishment, but because it has not yet let go. For others, death is a soft surrender, a breath, a remembering. They rise easily, moving toward light, toward stillness, toward the subtle realms of guidance and rest. Between lives, the soul is not idle. It is held in spaces of reflection, not by external judges, but by the mirror of its own memory. Every action, intention, and thought becomes visible. The soul sees itself clearly, stripped of illusion. There is no shaming here, only understanding. Only the profound clarity that comes when there is no ego to defend, no identity to protect. The soul sees where it lived in truth and where it did not. In these spaces, some souls receive guidance from beings more evolved, from teachers beyond form, from inner light that has grown strong across lifetimes. They do not dictate what must happen. They remind the soul of what it came to learn. And then comes the moment of choosing. A new life is not assigned. It is aligned. The soul gravitates toward the experiences, conditions, and relationships that will best support its next steps. Not comfort, but growth. Not ease, but evolution. The family you enter, the body you inhabit, the trials you face. These are not accidents. They are echoes. They are invitations. They are mirrors of what the soul still seeks to resolve. Sometimes, the soul chooses to return quickly. Other times, it waits. It may remain in subtle realms, places of silence, healing, and light. These are not heavens in the way the modern world imagines. They are simply frequencies, higher, lighter, more aligned with clarity. In these spaces, the soul may encounter others, not in form, but in essence. Souls it has known, souls it has loved, souls with whom it shares deep bonds across time. These meetings are not verbal, they are energetic, a merging of memory, intention, and light. And always, there is the remembering, the realization that the soul has traveled far, not in distance, but in depth, that every life was part of a vast tapestry, that nothing was wasted, that every wound shaped compassion, every joy expanded light, every loss softened the self. This is the true purpose of the in-between, not escape, not judgment, but integration. The soul gathers the threads. It understands, it forgives, it prepares. But it does not forget. When the soul chooses its next life, it brings with it these memories, not as words, but as tendencies, as preferences, as fears, as gifts. the child who weeps at certain sounds, the adult who feels a strange pull toward distant lands, the person who senses they've done this before. These are not fictions. They are whispers, remnants, evidence of the in-between. And so, the cycle continues. Death, reflection, return. But with each turn, the soul remembers more. And with remembering comes freedom. Not from the world, but from illusion, from grasping, from forgetting who and what you really are. The space between lives is not a waiting room. It is a sacred interval, a breath between two heartbeats of existence, a pause in which the soul becomes its own witness. No distractions, no roles to play, only truth, only presence. The soul does not carry pride into this space. It carries awareness. It sees with new eyes. The masks drop, the defenses melt, the old narratives lose meaning. Only essence remains, and in that essence, the soul asks, "What did I learn?" It remembers not the details, but the vibrations, not the words, but the energy behind them. How often it loved, how deeply it listened, how willingly it let go, how bravely it faced truth. It remembers the pain too, not as suffering, but as opportunity. The arguments that could have taught humility, the failures that could have taught surrender, the losses that could have opened compassion. The soul sees where it closed, where it resisted, where it chose fear over love, not with guilt, but with grace, with the soft clarity that says, "Now I understand." In this space, nothing is wasted. Every fragment has purpose. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Every shadow carries a gift. The soul gathers it all, like pearls from the ocean floor, and prepares to try again. But not blindly, not mechanically, with intention, with a deeper wisdom than before. Each life is chosen with care, each path selected with reverence. The Vedic view is not that of punishment or reward. It is one of refinement. The soul is not tested, it is revealed. And each incarnation is a sculptor's stroke, shaping the formless into something clearer, finer, freer. Some souls choose service. They return not because they must, but because they love. Because they see others sleeping in the illusion they once knew. Because they remember how hard it was to wake up alone. These souls walk quietly. They do not seek recognition, but their presence opens doors. Others return to balance karma, to heal bonds that were left incomplete, to meet again the souls they once hurt, or were hurt by, and transform pain into compassion. These encounters are not accidents. They are part of the soul's weaving. You may have felt this, meeting someone for the first time and sensing something ancient, an old tension, a strange warmth, an unspoken understanding. These are echoes, traces from the in-between, the recognition of souls on parallel journeys. Between lives, the soul knows these patterns. It sees the threads that bind it to others, and it chooses, not always what is easy, but what will set it free. The subtle body prepares to return. It selects a new form, a new environment, a new set of lessons. But the core remains. You are not born blank. You are born becoming. Childhood is not the beginning of your story. It is the continuation of your evolution. The soul whispers from within, guiding you back to what you already know, if you're willing to listen. This life you live now was shaped by choices made before birth, not to trap you, but to awaken you. Every joy and sorrow is an invitation to remember, to become more conscious, to return to the essence you've always carried. And when this life ends, the journey will continue, not endlessly, but until remembering becomes constant, until the soul no longer forgets its source, until the play of form is seen for what it is, a school, a mirror, a path back home. In the Vedic tradition, this is not fantasy. It is not metaphor. It is a science of the soul, a map drawn by those who traveled deep within and brought back the truth. They speak of realms between realms, of light that welcomes, of sound that guides, of silence that heals. And though the world around you may deny it, though it may call this mystical or naive, your heart knows. It has been there before, and it will return again. The in-between is not separate from this life. It is beneath it, around it, within it. It is the layer of you that watches, that waits, that remembers. When you meditate, when you pray, when you pause and listen deeply, you touch that space. You touch the eternal that carries you from one lifetime to the next. And so, live this life well, not in fear of death, but in reverence for what continues after. Plant seeds you would want to harvest again. Leave imprints your soul will be proud to carry. Because between lives, you will look back, and what you carry forward is not what you owned or achieved, but what you understood, what you became, what you loved. And when that moment comes, when this life is done and you pass through the great doorway, may your soul rise lightly. May your subtle body shine clearly. May your memory be kind. And may you remember, even in that space between lifetimes, you were never lost. You were always on the way home.